So you have a wonderful 5-step process on some of the best responses to crisis. And I love this. And it's a wonderful recipe to kind of default to when you are feeling or experiencing the crisis fear mode. And I love it. I'd love it if you could go through this with us. It's really great.
And the response is, we know that we all have the ability to respond. And that's really something that you must recognize. You do have the ability to respond. Some people use the word responsibility to describe that. So the first thing that I do on a 5-step process is make sure that I stay in the present moment. Right now we know that most of our fears, worries, anxieties, they come from either thinking too much about what happened yesterday or last week or a month ago when we all got notified, or thinking too much about what may happen next week or in the future. And as you know, our dear friend Eckhart Tolle wrote the book, The Power of Now, and he gave many examples of how in the present is when you typically find solutions. So being in the present just means focus on what you have right now. Know what happened yesterday or what may happen tomorrow, but what is going on right now? How are you utilizing your time right now? Are you appreciating those around you? Are you able to take care of yourself? Self-care is one of the biggest messages right now. Are you able to make sure that you're investing in yourself right now? Are you make sure that you are creating a plan, rewriting your goals? This is a time to be present with what is going on. The second thing is there's 2 types of people out there during crisis. And the first one is the survival people. Those are about 80 to 90% of the people. You're going to start thinking every single day about what do I need for me? How is this going to impact me? But in crisis like this, we notice that the people that truly thrive are the ones that are thinking about the needs of others. What can you do for those around you? As a parent, what can you do for your children during a time like this? As a husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend, what can you do for your partner? What can you do for your employees as a leader of your company? So focus on the service that you can provide rather than just worrying so much about the survival actions that you have to take. When you start thinking service, you will recognize that it will give you an unlimited amount of energy. It's uplifting, but your creative mode goes skyrocketed where you come up with amazing solutions that you never thought you were capable of. The third thing that I find that is very important is you need to be able to be in this moment, but love this moment and be able to focus and be fully engaged with who you are right now. This is a time to reflect. This is a time to get to know you. This is a time to rethink about your business model in your business. As you know, many people have had to go virtual when they have bricks and mortars. Other industries have been completely shut down and they're trying to figure out how to get out of it. So this is a time to really reconnect with yourself. Over 80% of the people, according to statistics, don't like what they do. This is a time to reflect. Do you really want to go back to that work that you were miserable in? Or is this a time to really launch your new business? Is this a time to really get yourself out there in a way that is authentic? And then the next one is you have to focus. Go ahead.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point, because I think that the way that work is going to look is there are going to be a lot more people that really like this working from home thing, because it does allow you to connect more with family. I love that you're at home now with your 2, 20-year-old boys. One's working in one room, the other one's in school in another room, and you're on TV in the other room. That's great. I mean, this is a beautiful thing. And then you cook together and make these amazing meals at night. I mean, that's a great image. There are those, though, that also really needed the structure. I have a friend who really liked the work environment in the office and the connection and so forth. So there's going to be a new balance. I really do like what's kind of opened up here. So thank you. I'm sorry, living in the moment. And I love that, serve more than survive. That is beautiful. So the third one you were mentioning.
The third one is reconnecting with yourself, rethinking your business, rethinking your life, making sure that in this world you are where you want to be. And if you're not, it's okay. Just embrace it and do something different about it. I was talking yesterday with my dear friend Nick Vujicic, and Nick, has about 55 events a year. His sole income comes from live events, as you know, and his events are stadiums events rather than small groups. And he's completely revamped his life to be virtual. And he said to me, Fab, the biggest blessing, he's got 4 children. He just had twins. And he says, is to be with my family. I realize how much I miss them when I'm on the road, and I can't wait to revamp my business. The fourth thing that I want you to think about is your health. Now, Lisa, I've never seen a time in which people's health have been a top priority of their lives. Now, granted, most people right now are thinking, is my body healthy enough to handle this virus? And the answer is yes. Your body is designed with self-healing mechanisms to help support you through this. And we know that through history that the body has the ability to heal, but you also have to be healthy in order to do that. So you have to be thinking right now a lot about your immune system, more importantly, your nervous system, of course, with your stress levels. How do you manage all of that in your life? Most people don't realize. I'm going to give you 3 things that you probably would never have heard before. Shiitake mushrooms. Eat a lot of shiitake mushrooms because they are amazing in helping your immune health, but also in decreasing the inflammation. I read another research that was saying that humming, just simply humming, allows you to boost the oxygen levels and also your lymphatic system. And then making sure, like I've been cooking a lot, as you know, put cumin, because cumin is something that prevents infection. So 3 simple ideas there in order to implement into your life, but to recognize that put health as a priority right now more than ever, invest in your health, and you will come out of this better than you came into it.
You are so right about that. I think that for the first time ever, our entire world is focused on their immune system. Yes, it's been in the back of our minds, but you as a health expert, it's always on the front of your mind. And just to take it one step further, the book that you wrote about the power of self-healing is very relevant right now as well, because there's a lot of people that don't want to go into doctors' offices for regular checkups, that they can't, and they don't want to be exposed to waiting rooms. So this has really got to be our top priority. And there's a lot in your book, of course, about self-care and food and immune system and so forth that is very helpful during this time. I really thank you for that perspective. It is the first time ever where our health is our very top priority, and safety, of course. But that's a big one. Thank you for that.
So I want to make sure that you embrace that. I want to make sure that you recognize that health should always be your top priority because it impacts every area of your life, not only whether you live or die, but also the quality of your life, which is very important. And lastly, the 5th step that I do is primarily to recognize that during this time, I need to be a little bit more loving, unconditionally loving to myself and others, and be able to spend the time to forgive myself for the mistakes that maybe I made in the past. Begin with a blank sheet of paper like I train my patients, is that every single day should be looked at as a brand new day. You can't do anything for what happened yesterday, but I know that we can all be a little bit more loving with each other. Spend some more time visualizing yourself, being more loving to yourself, being more patient to yourself, being good to yourself. Right now we have a lot of providers that are very concerned about how they're going to provide for their families. And I'm telling them, give yourself permission to say, I'm worried, to say, I don't know what's going to happen next week, to say, honey, we may have to make some changes. Children, we may have to make some changes. I just want you to know, don't be afraid to hold back, because holding back stress changes the chemistry of our bodies and it doesn't allow our organs to function. And it's one of the main reasons why people get sick. It's because they internalize that stress, which changes the chemistry and changes the body. I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions that I want you to consider. I want you to go from worry right now into certainty. Even if you have to fake it until you make it, I want you to stop the worry. Anytime you have a worry, change it into a certain statement. Louis Say taught us for many years to change negative statements into what she called affirmations. So make sure that you right now feel the most certain than ever, and then release the worry. Just don't give it any energy. Also make sure that you go from judgment to acceptance, because right now we want to judge, right? We want to find somebody to blame. Who can we blame for this? The reality of it is the world needed a pause. This is a great pause that we all needed. We needed to reset ourselves because we were going in a direction that was very detrimental, that was very sickening, that was impacting the health of millions of people. And now we're seeing that that's going to help. So make sure that you accept this moment for what it is and make it a positive moment. And also go from isolation into love. I can tell you that love is the greatest healer there is. I want you to love yourself more than ever right now. I want you to love those around you more than ever. Think of it like you will never see them again. What would you say to them? How would you treat them? How would you treat yourself if you know that this was your last day? So make sure that you are as much loving as you can be, and make sure that you recognize that this moment is being given to you is the greatest opportunity of your life if you choose to look at it that way. So by changing that thinking, by looking at this as an opportunity, not what the coronavirus did to me, but what did it do for me? And not what am I going to do during this process of isolation, but who am I going to be during this process of isolation? Who am I going to be as I come out of this process? Because that's what you can control.